everybody, I'm Clown Nebula. Welcome to the 39 Steps. So this is an indie game that I bought about a couple of months ago, and it's about the 39 steps you do while doing an homicide or a crime. So this should be like a very movie-like game in which the events are told, such as in a spying and thriller movie. So I think this is quite exciting, and I hope this will be a good start for us. And please remember always to take your free ticket and enjoy the ride. So let's start with my name, and first reset. Yeah. Okay. Now we're ready, and let's go. Enjoy the ride. Your mouse clockwise, anti-clockwise makes you go back. Okay, quite unusual, but I'm okay with that. Okay, when you reach the end of a string of text, you will see a diamond. Simply left-click anywhere to advance the scene, moving the story forward. Well, okay then. So maybe this is more like a story than a game. The 39 Steps is a largely pointer-free experience. But when you see one, that's your clue to interact, I think. Okay, apartment. Okay, let's check inside then. Some locations can be explored. When in Explore mode, you can click and drag the mouse to look around. You can also interact with glowing objects. Okay, I can move. And let's see this letter. Welcome to England. I hope your journey from Rhodesia was not too arduous. Would you like to come into the bank and we can discuss matters regarding your Rhodesian mining shares? If you could please make an appointment with my clerk, Mr. Scoop, on Temple 6733. Yours sincerely, Mr. Edward Ainsley. Okay. So apparently I'm a very wealthy man, I guess. Because if I have shares of a mining society, I mean, I should be very rich. Okay, I think that's it. Perhaps I don't see any other glowing objects. Okay, so I think we're done here. Maybe we should go to the bank then. Congratulations, you made it through our short tutorial. Have been given an award for your efforts. Okay, thanks. There are more to collect. You will shortly begin your journey through the 39 steps. All progress will be auto-saved, but you can also use bookmarks to manage your progress and revisit key scenes. Right-click or hit spacebar to return to the main menu screen during play. This also acts as pause. Okay. The wrong ditch. Okay, so it is are the 39 steps, I guess. Let's start with the wrong ditch. Richard Henney is living in London. Hold on a moment. Okay, sorry for the interruption, but my phone had rang. So, Richard Henney is living in London, England, and he yearns for a more interesting life. Uh-oh. Okay. Then let's go. Okay. Okay, play. The wrong ditch. Monday, 18 May 1914. London, England. I returned from the city on that May afternoon, pretty well disgusted with life. I had been 3 months in the old country and was fed up with it. What do you have with the old country, man? At least there's sunny here. Nice place. Looks like a gentleman's club.
Richard Hannay, you have got into the wrong ditch, my friend, and you had better climb out.
Richard Hannay. The present, the carer, the soldier, working man, teenager, the child. Okay, let's see the present. A lot of imperialist ladies asked me to meet schoolmasters from New Zealand and editors from Vancouver. And that was the most dismal business of all. Had no real pal to go about with, which probably explains things. Oh, sorry. Hold on a moment. Okay, so... And that was the most dismal business of all. Had no real pal to go about with, which probably explains things. Plenty of people invited me to their houses, but they didn't seem much interested in me. Had counted on stopping in London for the rest of my days, but from the first I was disappointed with it. I was the best bored man in England. Okay, let's see, the child. My father had brought me out from Scotland to South Africa at 6. And I had never been home since. I grew up in the Cape Colony, which was then under British rule. So maybe you have seen, like, Mr. Baden-Powell, perhaps. My final years in Africa were in the municipality of Bulawayo, where I had fought during the Matabele War. I resided once again with my father, who had taken ill. After he died, I decided to leave the Cape and head back to the old country. So you did like all this path. The career, perhaps. No? Okay, the soldier. I served the British forces during the Matabele conflict and was decorated for my role. I served 2 years with the Imperial Light Horse and was an intelligence officer at the Lagoa Bay in the Second Boer War. I lost many friends during those wars. And then the scouts were born after that battles. I had earned my pile, not one of the big ones, but good enough for me. I had put in 3 years prospecting for copper in German Damaraland and spoke the German tongue pretty fluently. I went on to become a mining engineer in Kimberley, where I was instrumental to the formation of De Beers Consolidated Mines. Yeah, I like the name, De Beers. The diamond mines were a rough business with countless good men lost in horrific accidents. Well, I like the fact that from Half-Life on, like most of the protagonists of video games are engineers of any sort. Okay, let's see, teenager. I spent much of my time by Zambezi, where I would fish. There are several hundred species in its waters, including the infamous tigerfish and Zambezi shark. The wide open spaces of the world also interested me greatly, and the various methods of survival in such an uncompromising landscape. Sorry for my dyslexia. The child. Okay, so we're done here with your background. Here I was, 37 years old, sounding wine and lime, with enough money to have a good time, yawning my head off all day. Okay, so I can see I can have a glass of whiskey. What was that? Can I go back? Where's my... I can see my I had a long drink and read the evening papers. Okay, but I can see my... I can see my mouse. Had a long drink and read the evening papers. They were full of the row in the Near East. There was an article about Carolites, the Greek premier. From all accounts, he seemed the one big man in the show, and he played a straight game too, which is more than could be said for most of them. As all politicians, I'd say. Nice hall you have here. Back to the living room. Someone had loaded the cylinder player. I felt a deep nostalgia for my homeland of Scotland as Onni Lowry filled the room. Old songs played. Okay, let's interact with sound. Oh, this is the Colonial Club. Okay, let's see the map. So these are all the places where he lived. Australia, India, all the British colonies, Dominion of Canada. It was still under British control. Books. Our empire at home and abroad. Okay. Introductory. This is about the colonialism, I guess. Yeah, in South Africa. Okay, so supremacy. I think this is not much important. It's about having a colonial empire. Okay, so let's see what we can fire. Nice little ghostly fire. Lighting up in the air. A wallet. Let's steal some money then. Okay, it's open. Presented to Richard Hannay, Intelligence Office, Matabele War, 1897. Soldier of the British Empire. Let's see, journal. British informer. Carolites keep strong. He sees, he reasons, he buys. The consumer. There were already studies about the consumers in those times, I guess. After maybe during the Industrial Revolution. Okay, this is the Greek premier, I guess. Tensions in the Near East. Albanian uprising. Ginger nuts. Okay. Let's see what else do we have here. More papers, newspapers. Bohemia. About hotels. And commercials. Criminal Spawn. Pope and Bradley. Pratt's. Maybe it's Hugo Pratt. Fashion for men. Big flying races. News of the Navy. Okay. So maybe these are like original newspapers. Okay, let's see the... No, we had already checked this. Okay, can we see other stuff? No, we did already. Got the map. Maybe I need to see Cape Colony. Did all the way up here to England and Scotland. Okay. Now, what can I possibly say? Okay, I think I've seen enough here. about 6 o'clock when I went home. It's in this area, no. From St. James Square to New Cavendish Street, maybe. Good old London. The flat was the first floor in a new block behind Langham Place. Okay, let's enter inside. Yeah, I have also an elevator. There was no restaurant or anything of that sort, and each flat was quite shut off from the others. A perfect place to be alone. Okay, let's examine my post. So I'm Mr. Hannay. Ah, okay. Can I have like a text or something? No? Okay, I will try to translate it. Dear Richard, how is Lord Cardo? I do have after you well, and that you lure at the horses is lasting out. Maybe, yeah. How is London? Thanks, because that was a terrible idea to translate the writings here. Dear Richard, how is London? I do hope Paddock is looking after you well, and that your luck on the horse is lasting out. 10 to 1 it is. Now here's a tale for you. Last month in the Kalahari I found myself in a tight spot. After 2 days on the plane, I lost my way and could not find the river. I was forced to go without water for 3 days, and 5 without a morsel of food save for a few moping worms. An excellent source of protein, which steered me away from starvation. Then I ran into an old chief to whom I owed money. Because of my debt, he refused to help me, so I had to continue on my feet. The desert is not kind to any man, but I made it out, and a man in Tanganyika told me a Rhodesian Ridgeback, which will be my partner in my future hunts. I have named the animal Shaka, after the old Zulu chief, and will take him to the Congo with me when I go for the elephants. I plan to leave next week if I can get my new rifle finished in time. Yours, Peter Pienaar. Okay. So you like hunting, don't you? Okay. Well, thanks for sending me a letter. And let's ascend. Open our door. Though the symbols as they appear. Okay. Whoa. Quick time events, ladies and gentlemen. 2.0.
Paddock? That's me home. I'll be heading out for dinner.
Hi, Paddock. Where are you? I hate servants on the premises, so I had a fellow to look after me who came by the day. He arrived before 8 o'clock every morning and used to depart at 7, for I never dined at home. Okay, let's move to, I don't know, Regent Street. That evening I dined at the Café Royal, then headed elsewhere for entertainment. To Leicester Square, Alhambra. Alhambra, maybe. It's better. An evening's entertainment. Leicester Square music halls. See Leicester Square. On this particular evening, I wandered to Leicester Square, where the more resplendent theatre of varieties could be found. A show at the Alhambra, yeah, caught my eye, though one could never be quite sure of the act until it had been seen. Okay. Music halls. The countless music halls of London were one way of passing the evening away. Farces of all styles played a conspicuous part in this week's bill, such as these two lovely guys. But nonetheless, in England was born the great Shakespeare. It was a silly show. I did not stay long. Thanks for telling me they did like great plays. Then you did enjoy each one, even one of them. Okay, let's get blues then. With a violin. On the way home, I gave half a crown to a beggar because I saw him yawn. He was a fellow sufferer. Yeah, not the kind of bore you have yourself with money, but I made a vow. I would give the old country another day to fit me into something. Okay then, let's give another chance to it. With the bright stars according our promise. If nothing happened, I would take the next boat for the Cape. Okay, so we completed the first step, I guess. Two first steps. Okay, so this is quite a nice game, calm and seducing. Again, maybe next time pour a cup of tea in your cup and then have some biscuits and then let me tell you this story. So I hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching as always, and maybe we'll see each other on the next step in the next video. And remember guys, if you can't sleep, the clowns are gonna eat thee. Good night.